What is up, my Neppers? And welcome to the world of Pokemon. Nah, I'm just kidding. What I meant to say was, Happy Pokemon Day! As a fan of both Pokemon and Neptunia, I thought it would be a neat idea to do a little crossover of the two to celebrate Pokemon's 25th anniversary. I know doing crossovers can be risky when you're focusing on one franchise, but I feel like Pokemon is a franchise that can be made into a crossover and still be satisfying and even fun. Pokemon is a beloved franchise by many, and whether you love or hate it, you have to admit that the crossovers with other anime are pretty intriguing. And this is no exception. What sort of monster partners would the CPUs have to aid them in fights or even have as cute pets or companions? Well, let's look into that, shall we? Now before we start, I've made a couple of rules for this video. For one, I'm only going to give each character half the number of Pokemon of a normal full party of 6. I do this to not only lessen my stress of finding good teammates out of nearly 900 species for each character based on aesthetic, design, personality traits, etc., but also so you guys can contribute your own ideas to fill the other 3 slots. For 2, I'm going to divide these Pokemon into categories. One will be the stay-at-home pet, one will be the strong one that they bring on missions, and the last will be the guard dog for home base while their master is away. These are only referring to the partners of the CPUs, FYI. And for 3, I'm going to talk about the 4 CPUs specifically, with the exception of IF and Compa due to them being pretty iconic members of the series as a whole. And due to me only playing the first lineup game of the Rebirth Saga, I will only discuss characters from that game, so no future characters will be mentioned as of yet. Also no side maker characters, sorry! Now keep in mind that these are entirely based on my own opinion and you're free to disagree with me at any given point. And tell me your own opinion in the comments. And also keep in mind that these are mostly for fun. No competitive teams here. Alright, with that all out of the way, let's get to meeting some awesome team combinations. Okay, let's start with the adorable protagonist that we all know and love in the face of the franchise, Neptune. We all know our girl Nep is an optimistic, cheerful, and silly person, so there's no doubt that she'd make a very fun, loving trainer. So for Neptune's first partner, I gave it some thought, but then it hit me. Why not give the face of this franchise the face of Pokemon's franchise? So Neptune's first Pokemon is a Pikachu that she nicknames Pudding. Yep, that's a little headcanon in my mind that if Neptune had a Pikachu, she'd probably name it after her favorite thing in the world due to its yellow and brown coloring, much like the bounty dessert that she worships like a god. I will take this headcanon to my grave. Pudding would be Neptune's stay-at-home pet Pokemon. Now, given Neptune's personality and not having the best sense of responsibility, she'd probably mess up along the way with her first pet if she had one. One of the things I can see her doing with this Pokemon is introducing it to Pudding. She'd probably continuously give it Pudding until it shares the same love and obsession with it as she does. Keep in mind, Neptune is a CPU and doesn't have to worry too much about her weight, as it shows in V2's true ending that she has her own way of maintaining balance in her weight. I won't say it for spoiler reasons. But unfortunately, the same cannot be said for her Pokemon, and she forgets that, accidentally overfeeding it to the point where it looks more like a 90s Pikachu. Oops! But does this pull her away from it? No way, she loves her chunky boy. She does heed IF and Compa's warnings to not feed him Pudding anymore, but she still feeds him Pudding, just less of it. She also gives Pudding's chubby cheeks lots of nuzzle snuggles to the point where he gives his master a jolt of lightning every time. That's Pika friendship, people. That's pretty much all I can see of this duo. They eat pudding, laze around, and enjoy each other's company as best friends. And I think that's pretty wholesome. On to Neptune's next Pokemon. I decided to give her another electric type as Planetoon's nation is a nation that revolves around gaming, aka power source, aka electricity. I somehow forgot to mention this in my playthrough, but in the game there are 4 different affinity types for attacks: fire, wind, ice, and lightning. I assigned the CPUs each with an affinity. Noire has fire, Blanc has ice, Vert has wind. By process of elimination, that leaves Neptune with lightning, which works very well in my opinion. Anyway, back to what Pokemon I chose to give her next. I went with an Ampharos, but a shiny one. I feel like Ampharos' shiny coloration really captures the aesthetic of Planetoon well. The pink and blue color scheme match with Neptune perfectly. Ampharos would be the Pokemon Neptune would bring with her on jobs or quests as her most powerful. One of Neptune's stronger combo skills is lightning based, but imagine the boosted electric power added to it of a strong electric type like Ampharos. That'd leave opponents with some shocking paralysis. Or they'd probably just die. I see this as a Pokemon that fights alongside her even when in HDD. Just picture it, Purple Heart's glowing blue hair ornaments and eyes, and Ampharos' glowing blue tail and head orb. Absolutely perfect. And we Gen 2 fans know how much of a powerhouse Ampharos can be, so I think it works pretty well as a CPU's partner. As for connections, according to its Pokédex entry, the bright light on its tail can be seen from far away. It has been treasured since ancient times as a beacon. Okay, when you think about it, Planeptune's Basilicom is always so bright at night. How much light does it have to look as if it brightens the entire city? Well, let's just say Neptune's strongest partner can take some of the literal spotlight for that. Ampharos are also very gentle and mellow when they're not in battle mode, much like our lovable protagonist. So I think this duo would really kick butt together and look cute and cool doing it. The last member of Neptune's team is a bit of an odd choice, but I decided to give her a pseudo-legendary. Why? Because she's the protagonist, need I say more? So with that said, Neptune's final Pokemon is the friendly, slimy dragon-type Goodra. I think this Pokemon once again contrasts with Neptune color scheme-wise, but also it defines a personality trait of hers as well. We all see Neptune like the glump people or surprise them from behind or hug them out of affection. According to Goodra's Pokédex entry, this very friendly dragon-type Pokemon will hug its beloved trainer, leaving that trainer covered in sticky slime. Sounds like the perfect huggable match to me. Plus, we all know Neptune is a bit of a perv on the inside, so she'd probably have no issue being covered in her slimy dragon friend's affection. We all know she was having fun with those doggoos. However, after many scoldings from the Basilicom staff and Histoire as well, they tell Neptune to keep this Pokemon outside due to the mess it leaves on the floor, causing the staff to slip and fall. So, Goodra is kept outside of the Basilicom when it's not in its Pokeball. Because of this, Goodra takes the role of the guardian of the Basilicom. I can see it being very friendly to passerbys and children especially, but it's still a very powerful pseudo-legendary capable of packing quite a punch to defend its home from any threat that comes to it. But Neptune makes sure to give it plenty of attention and yummy snacks when it's playtime though, and I can see Goodra having a close bond with her other Pokemon and the rest of her friends and family as well. Slimy hugs for everyone! That's about all I have to say on Neptune. She has a very friendly and squishy team. So now let's move on to our next character. Let's move on to Compa. Compa is a crybaby, ditzy, simple-minded nurse with a very gentle and kind heart. She has the tendency of being helpful and merciful even to strangers, so there's no doubt that she'd be a very caring trainer. Her first Pokemon is kind of a weird choice, but it just stuck out to me. Compa's first Pokemon will be the normal type Teddiursa. I actually didn't have a real connection to this Pokemon being on Compa's team at first, other than the fact that I sketched her with one in high school for some reason, and they do share the same color palette. But then I looked at Teddiursa's Pokédex entry. Teddiursa liked to lick its palms soaked with honey. It makes its own honey by blending fruits and pollen from Beedrill. So from this entry, I think Teddiursa would always be Compa's taste tester when she's working in the kitchen, especially making something sweet. It could probably also make its own honey and help in the sweetening process as her assistant. I can also see Compa giving this adorable little teddy bear all sorts of love, causing this bear to absolutely fall for her. I can see this Pokemon being a little on the naughty side at times, competing against others for Compa's affection. Imagine IF or Wadechu having a cute rival like this. All in all, I think Teddiursa makes an adorable first choice of Pokemon for this loving and adorable nurse. The next Pokemon on Compa's team is another one that would help her in the kitchen. There must be some sort of secret to how Compa's pudding wins over the almighty goddess of Planeptune so easily. Compa makes exceptionally delicious sweets that can win over anyone and make them smile. She must have a secret ingredient for this, right? Well, let's take a look at the little one who might be responsible for that. Her next Pokemon is Alcremie. Of course, this Alcremie would have the love sweet attached to it to symbolize Compa Heart's logo. This little whipped cream fairy excels in helping Compa bake the sweetest desserts and pastries out there. In Alcremie's Pokédex entry, it states, "When Alcremie is content, the cream it secretes from its hands becomes sweeter and richer." Because of this entry, I like to picture Compa's Alcremie as a very shy and timid Pokemon, to the point where it doesn't feel comfortable showing itself to anyone other than its trainer. It prefers to be alone with Compa, preferably with a mixing bowl of something tasty. Compa, being the kind and understanding and easygoing soul that she is, accepts this and lets her Alcremie stay in its comfort zone. Because Alcremie trusts Compa, it helps her by secreting its tasty cream to help Compa's desserts become even richer and sweeter. To this day, Neptune still has no idea how Compa's sweets are so tasty. And she may never know. And finally, the last Pokemon on Compa's team connects to her nurse profession. So say hello to Compa's Blissey. Yeah, I bet you all were waiting for this one. She had to have one of those signature nurse assistants on her team. Similar to Compa, Blissey are very positive and caring Pokemon wanting nothing more than to make others happy, healthy, and comfortable. Its Sun Pokedex entry states, even the most ferocious of enemies become calm when they eat Blissey's egg, which is said to be filled with happiness. This can connect to an event in Rebirth 2 where she offers a monster tea, taming it and making it behave in a pretty calm manner while a certain pair of little sisters argue. Sure, this was for comedic effect, but it still worked. And its Soul Silver entry says, it has a very compassionate nature. If it sees an injured Pokemon, it will nurse them back to health. This can also relate to Compa's, evidence stated when she nurses Raichu back to health despite him being an enemy, causing the rat to simp for her to unhealthy levels. Compa would probably be the most popular nurse in Planeptune because her Blissey would give comfort to those sick, hurt, or scared. Another thing that Blissey would be useful to Compa for would be combat-wise. Sure, Blissey's mostly a supportive Pokemon, but we all know nothing can beat that defensive amount of health. Blissey would probably tank hits for Compa from enemies because that's how much it loves her. Blissey cannot evolve from Chansey without the strong bond of a trainer it truly loves. I like to imagine both Compa and her Chansey struggled in medical school making all sorts of clumsy mistakes, especially with bandages. But as they learn and grow, they become this great team of nurses and best friends with a bond that can never be severed. Talk about a fluffy and sweet pair of caregivers. That's it for Compa's soft and wholesome team. Moving on. Now we move on to IF. IF is a more serious type of girl with a go-getter attitude, lots of exploration experience, and a slight bit of Chuny syndrome on the side. IF as a trainer would probably be similar to that of an ace or experienced trainer. So let's discuss this Windwalker of Game Industries team. For her first Pokemon, I'm gonna have to go with Snivy, the grass starters of Unova. This sassy snake is super cocky, speedy, and can really show its fangs when it counts. IF does show a bit of a spicy and cocky attitude in the first game, so I feel like that contrasts with Snivy pretty accurately. Its Black Pokedex entry states, it is intelligent and calm. Being exposed to sunlight makes its movements swifter. That sure sounds a lot like IF. She's pretty calm in crazy situations and has got all sorts of intelligence due to working with guilds for so long. And she's also very swift, as she's one of the faster characters when it comes to combat. Snivy contrasts with IF's design and personality, with its leafy tail contrasting of her leaf bow, and its proud and calm demeanor matches IF's pretty accurately. Also, just imagine seeing this little grass snake on her shoulder. It'd be adorable. If IF ever brings her Snivy on a quest or a mission, she would always make sure to do it in the daylight of the sun, so both of their swift movements confuse their opponents before they can even make a move. The next member of IF's team share a connection to the weapons that she uses. Yep, the next Pokemon on her team is Scyther. Though she doesn't quite use scythes, IF's choice in weapons are large daggers or claws. I feel like her and Scyther would make a pretty great team that truly slays. See what I did there? Its Pokedex entry states, its blindingly fast speed adds to the sharpness of its forearm size. These scythes can slice through thick logs in one wicked stroke. Yep, another speedy Pokemon for IF, but this one's got weapons on its hands, just like her. They'd both slice up their opponents before they even had a chance to move. Let's keep reading. With ninja-like agility and speed, it can create the illusions that there is more than one of itself. Ninjas. Need I say more? IF Naruto run! She wants to be a ninja! Okay, that's enough of my silliness. Plus, I feel like IF and her Scyther would train against each other to sharpen both of their skills and weapons at the same time. Scyther are also known to be very proud Pokemon when it comes to their skills and their power, and I think pride is definitely one of IF's qualities. I mean, she always shows shame whenever she messes up her reputation as a guild member. Yep, I think these two would make a pretty solid match. The last Pokemon on her team would contribute to a few of her quirks as well as her job. She carries around 9 cell phones, but I don't see any charger and I feel like she needs something to charge her phones. With that said, I'm giving her an electric type. But knowing IF's a Chuny, she'd probably want a hell of a beast at her side. So what better Pokemon to add to her team than the menacing and super cool Luxray? Luxray is a big electric lion-like beast, super popular amongst any Gen 4 trainer, but to a Chuny like IF, this is her beast familiar. Luxray can be super fierce and powerful Pokemon, but they are also super loyal to their masters. Luxray also have very perceptive vision, being able to find hidden objects. Its Pokédex entry states, Luxray's ability to see through objects comes in handy when scouting for danger, or in IF's case, scouting for items. I feel like Luxray would be IF's go-to partner to take with her when it comes to gathering or treasure hunting quests. This can also connect to IF being the first character in the first game with the treasure search ability, so that's a neat little take-back. I feel IF could command this beast to do all sorts of amazing things to help her along quests and work, and fight to take down enemies and foes as her powerhouse. But of course, making sure to take breaks and relax along the side. Then when work is over, they can finally bond with one another. This hard-working, unbreakable combo cannot be stopped. Okay, that's about it for IF's edgy team. Let's move on to the next CPU. Now to move on to the hard-headed tsundere CPU of Last Station, Noire. We all know our girl. She's serious, strict, proud, with a side of tsundere and secretive hobby keeping on the side. I feel as a trainer, Noire would probably make sure to train her Pokemon to their top potential, and at the same time maybe enter a few Pokemon contests on the side. For Noire's first Pokemon, I looked into her nation as a whole. Last Station is the land of black regality, very steampunky and industrial, mostly focusing on factories and engineering as a career path. I feel like the steel type would benefit Noire, but with the added dark typing to symbolize the black term of Last Station. So only one Pokemon fits that bill. Enter Bisharp, but a shiny one to match her color scheme. Due to its dark typing, Bisharp is a very merciless Pokemon, but I feel with a strict trainer like Noire, it would become tamer. I also feel it would grow to respect how tactful and hardworking Noire is and come to protect her and Last Station as a bodyguard. I feel Noire would also use Bisharp as a sparring partner. Its steel body and sturdy blade-like arm guards would be very good partners for sword training. And knowing how hard-headed and powerful Noire tends to be, I feel Bisharp would also be honed to its fullest potential, to the point it can be quite a tough opponent to beat in a battle. So in this conclusion, Bisharp would be the guard for Last Station's Basilicom. And when Noire is home, it always makes sure that she's safe and protects her like a bit of a knight. I think it's a cute idea, leave me alone. Okay, moving on. Noire's next Pokemon contributes to another pretty well-known trait of hers, that being her solitude. The next Pokemon I decided to give her was Absol, yet another dark Pokemon with a serious and menacing demeanor. But Absol is a misunderstood Pokemon. Because of its relation to natural disasters, it's often shunned by the world as a doombringer and left to lead a solitary and lonely life away from people. Hey, Noire can relate, though the difference is people actually do like and respect her, but she's still pretty awkward with interaction, causing people to see her as a bit hard-headed and intimidating. I think her and Absol could really work well together. Plus, Absol is a pretty beautiful Pokemon despite its connection to disasters. This Pokemon means no harm and only wants to do its best, much like our tsundere goddess. I think Noire raising and training and bonding with this Pokemon would be very fitting. They can share their loneliness together and be the only ones whom understand each other. Absol would eventually bond to Noire to the point of becoming her loyal best friend, even to the point of protecting her from any slander that she may receive. Neptune better watch her mouth if she doesn't want to get slashed. This is the Pokemon Noire would bring with her on missions and quests. I mean, just imagine Absol and Blackheart fighting alongside each other. I think it's beautiful. And to correspond with her affinity being fire and one of her special moves being fire-based Volcano Dive, Noire would probably likely teach her Absol to use a move like Flamethrower. And I can imagine Noire giving her Absol lots of care, including grooming and making sure it's always in top form. These two develop a mutual respect for one another, and I think it truly fits the way Noire would train a former loner like her. But they're not alone anymore, they have each other, and that's all that really matters. Alrighty, her last member of her team, I'm going to tie to something random but memorable and recognizable, and that is her affinity for cats. Even if it's subtle, Noire likes cats. She announces it in her blog in the first game, is accompanied by a kitten in V2, she saves a kitten in the manga, and befriends a cat in RPG. Point is, she has a way with cats. so I'm gonna give her a cat. But which cat Pokemon suits her? It took me a while to decide, but then it hit me. When I myself played Pokemon Y for the first time, I saw major tsundere-like behavior from a specific Pokemon that I raised. So, I'm giving her that exact Pokemon. Meet Noire's Meowstic. Now, I think this Pokemon suits Noire a lot more than I thought. She'd probably have a female, and this would be Noire's stay-at-home pet. No Dex entries really relate to Noire about it, but this one just made me laugh. Its Dex entry in Sword reads, "Females are more selfish and aggressive than males. If they don't get what they want, it will torment you with its psychic abilities." Meowstic's psychic abilities are pretty insane given that it has to keep its ears covered at all times, so imagine the hilarious antics for Noire and this selfish brat, but she'd find a way to tame it even if it doesn't like it. Also, keeping it in top form, I think if Noire were to enter any Pokemon contest, she'd bring her Meowstic with her. We all know Noire's secret hobby is cosplaying, and because Meowstic is a bipedal Pokemon, she'd probably sew together matching cosplay outfits to cosplay alongside her Meowstic. I mean, come on, just imagine these two in little matching cosplay, precious and perfection. Though, let's be real, she'd probably disguise herself like Jessie did in almost every contest because Noire never admits her hobbies to the public because she's just too embarrassed about it. Point is, I think her and Meowstic would make a pretty good match both in attitude and aesthetic. Don't mess with these two tsunderes. That's all I have to say on Noire's cool yet appealing team. Let's move on to the next CPU. Let's move on to the cold yet gentle CPU of the nation of Louis, Blanc. The youngest looking despite being the oldest, Blanc's personality is pretty unforgettable to fans. She's either a quiet or calm person who likes to put time to herself with her hobbies, or a ball of unstoppable rage if you dare cross her. Blanc as a trainer would probably have very tame Pokemon, as her nation contains very delicate demographic, being children and the elderly, but at the same time train them to truly destroy those that threaten the bond that they share. For her first Pokemon, I decided to give her an evolution. Which one? Well, her nation is a land of snow, so why not give her the icy Glaceon? Naturally, Glaceon would be the stay-at-home pet for Blanc. Glaceon are pretty agile and graceful Pokemon that like to keep to themselves most of the time, much like our girl. Its Pokedex entry from Shield reads, "The coldness emanating from Glaceon causes powdery snow to form, making this Pokemon popular at ski resorts." Or the entire nation of Louis, which is always covered in snow. Glaceon are also able to control their body temperature, so I imagine they're not always as cold as an icicle. I like to think that whenever Blanc comes back home after a long day of CPU work, she sits down on her bed or on the floor with a good book to read, and her Glaceon curls up on her lap or beside her to give her an air of peace. Let's be real, nothing's better than having your furry friend by your side when you're doing something you truly love. There's another reason I gave Blanc an evolution specifically, but that'll have to be explained for another time. On to her next Pokemon. I feel like Louis is a fantasy land full of imagination where kids can really be in paradise. You wanna know what that needs? How about a dinosaur? With that being said, I'm giving Blanc a fossil Pokemon, Aurorus. Large and usually gentle-natured, this Pokemon would fit right in at Louis. It could walk around Louis carrying its master on its back while going on tours. Just imagine that majesty, our small CPU Blanc riding this big, beautiful, majestic beast of a Pokemon. Absolute queen. Not to mention, this Pokemon can create auroras at night. The Pokedex entry from Sword reads, Aurorus was restored from a fossil. It's said that when this Pokemon howls, auroras appear in the night sky. So, imagine Blanc going out at night on this Pokemon and creating beautiful sky art for her people to watch, as her mount Pokemon howls in the night. Given how much Blanc cares for her people, I can see her doing that on occasion. Auroras tend to be very gentle Pokemon that prefer not to fight, so Blanc keeps this big dino at home to protect not only the Basilicom, but all of Louis' citizens as well. They may not like to fight, but according to the Pokedex, using its diamond-shaped crystals, it can instantly create a wall of ice blocking from an opponent's attack. So this thing could literally be Louis' wall of defense. Crowds of people could stand under or behind it, and it would create ice walls to defend everyone from monster attacks or any threats. Honestly, I think Louis' perpetual winter could be caused by Blanc's Pokemon alone. They're super cold and snow and ice follow them wherever they go. I can also imagine Blanc training her Auroras to be friendly with children, including her own family, even giving them rides and letting them get close enough to pet it. Kids like dinosaurs, so why not? Alright, on to her last Pokemon, and this one will be her go-to partner to take with her on missions. This is a bit of a weird choice, but I decided her last Pokemon would be Abomasnow. Yep, another ice type. Am I typical or what? But hear me out on this one. We need to keep in mind that Blanc has another persona to this calm and caring demeanor of hers. And that is, of course, turning into a major brute when she becomes Whiteheart. I feel like she'd need a partner to balance that strength or match it to a T. Abomasnow is a large and monster-like being. I think it would really correspond with Blanc's HDD transformation persona pretty well. Both of them love smashing things and showing their power in the most harsh way possible. And also, do you know what Abomasnow's signature move is? That's right, Wood Hammer. What's Blanc's weapon? A giant hammer or axe upon transformation. Just imagine a collision of these angry behemoths and their strong and forceful hammers. That would cause all sorts of brain damage, or just plain death. Don't ever get them angry. On the other hand, I can also see Abomasnow being a very gentle giant when it's not fighting. Maybe at times acting like a babysitter for Blanc. And imagine during Christmas on the Wii, Blanc gives her Abomasnow decorative lights to show the holiday spirit, and maybe dresses it up like Santa Claus. Christmas on the Wii is magical, and what better way to show the true spirit than to dress up your moving snow tree monster? Either way, I think Abomasnow and Blanc make the most abominable combination yet. Do not mess with these Goliaths, as they will mess you up. That's it for Blanc's Cold as Ice team. Let's move on to the last of the 4 CPUs to close this fun video. And now we come to the CPU that truly shows the essence of a mature woman, Vert. Vert has a lot of personality despite her princess-esque and dainty appearance. While she does very much live up to her character with her persona of a kind and mature and gentle woman, she's also got her quirks. She's a big nerd who loves gaming to the point of no sleep and longs for a true family. So as a trainer, I think she'd certainly be unique and treat her Pokemon more like family than anyone else. That's not to say Pokemon aren't family, but Vert's desperation for a familial bond is the one thing that separates her from the others, and it will make her see her Pokemon more as family than her other partners. So, for her first Pokemon, I decided to go with Lilligant. This Pokemon is definitely one of the beauties in the Pokemon world. The design looks like that of a flower fairy or princess, and given Vert already looks like a princess, Lilligant contrasts with her design pretty well. But that's not the only reason I put it here. Lilligants are Pokemon that are delicate and need care at all times. The flower on Lilligant's head is especially delicate, as to keep it in full bloom, it must be nurtured at all times. Its Pokedex entry from Ultra Moon states, it's very well liked by other Pokemon because of its beauty. The flower on its head needs constant care or it will wither and rot. Being liked because of its beauty can really relate to Vert's high praise of herself. And rightfully so, she is quite a sight to behold. Now, Vert, being the motherly soul that she is, would probably spend a lot of her time making sure that this Pokemon is well taken care of. I'd like to think that Vert's rather one-track minded, and when she sets her focus on something, she puts all the effort that she can into it, even if that something is online gaming. Because of it being so delicate, Vert prefers to keep this flower at home for safekeeping, but it always patiently waits for her return home so they can enjoy some tea together. Speaking of tea, Vert could probably make up many different perfumes and teas with Lilligant's beautiful aromas. It's said to calm people just by smelling it, so it would probably be a very popular tea amongst those that need stress relief. And we all know Leanbox likes to make all their fancy products. So Lilligant and Vert would make a very good and beautiful pair together. For her next teammate, I decided to give her another Pokemon that shows as much beauty and service as she does. So, why not give her the OG waifu of the Pokemon world, Gardevoir. Now, we all know Gardevoir have very strong and devoted bonds with their trainer, even enough to give their lives to protect them, as the Pokedex states multiple times. Vert would take this bond pretty literally, even to the point of it being a little obsessive and maybe a bit unhealthy. Vert craves a little sister more than anything, so for her to give her Gardevoir this role in her head, I honestly wouldn't doubt it for a second. She would spoil this Pokemon rotten, taking it wherever she goes. They do everything together. She'd probably even try to teach it how to play online games so she could always have a second player with her. She'd dress it up in outfits and make sure it never leaves her side. Gardevoir makes sure to protect Vert anytime they fight, even when she activates HDD. Also, Gardevoir and Greenheart's color scheme match each other so well, it's insane! I can definitely see Vert entering Pokemon contests or fashion shows with this Pokemon by her side. The true queens of Leanbox. Also, is it just me, or does this pretend family in Vert's head kind of look like... Never mind. And for Vert's last Pokemon, I gave her one of the more beautiful and elegant Pokemon to fit her princess-like exterior. So Vert's last Pokemon is the gorgeous Milotic. I chose this Pokemon because every time you see Leanbox's Basilicom, there's always fountains and water surrounding it. So imagine a large lake of water beside the building containing Vert's super lovely Milotic. I can picture Vert swimming alongside it like a beautiful mermaid with her giant water serpent of pure majesty. The Pokédex states on many occasions that Milotic is just so beautiful that looking at it calms even the most angry or hostile of people, making it an excellent guard Pokemon for the Basilicom and work of art to behold other than its lovely CPU master. Milotic and Vert's color schemes just work together. Both are bright and beautifully coordinated, even to the point of saying it could be royal. Vert is already a beautiful goddess, so why not give this goddess a Pokemon so beautiful that everyone around her becomes awe-inspired and instantly calmed down? Probably enough to sit down for some tea. I wonder if it could quell Blonde's overwhelming anger every time Vert calls her out on her development. Either way, I think that these two would make a beautiful and inspiring work of art together. And that concludes Vert's elegant and beautiful team. And there you have it, everyone! That concludes this video. Do you agree with my picks? If not, what would you prefer? What Pokemon would you add to complete these dream teams of our beloved CPUs and co? And heck, I'm not even done yet. However, we'll have to save that video for another time, when I move on to other games, that is. I hope you all enjoyed this fun little crossover idea of mine, and a big happy anniversary to Pokemon. I look forward to see what this wondrous series will bring to us next. That's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing like always. And be sure to tune in next time, too. This is the Nep Queen now signing off. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye!